Hello, hello. Everyone, sir. Okay, hello everyone. I hope you guys had dinner. I hope you had dinner. No? Okay. Okay. So again, I'll introduce myself. I am Meenakshi Anup, your election commissioner. Before beginning the Soapbox, I'll announce once again about our launch, about our campaign launch. So it's called Operation 100, Every Vote Matters. It's basically this initiative that aims to achieve 100% turnout in student general elections 2024, so that it kind of acts as a precedent for any event that is beyond campus, like the upcoming general elections. I also want to thank, I am very grateful for all those people who, yes, working very tirelessly, all our election managers, core team members, and the administration as well. So now we will be kicking off our next Executive Council post, very crucial for student governance, International and Alumni Relations Secretary Soapbox. So here we have our candidate, Rohan Yadav, our candidate aspiring to serve as the IAR Secretary. Now, yes, okay. Before we proceed, I'll just once again go through the Soapbox guidelines for you guys. Okay? Now we'll begin by the candidate presenting his PPT for around 7 to 8 minutes. After that, we will move on to the Executive Council members, the current Executive Council members. They will get to ask as many questions as they want and one follow-up. After that, we can move on to the sphere heads or cores. And if we have any GSB members. Okay? Yeah, and we'll also, we will actually begin by SECC's questioning. I will begin the Soapbox by our questioning, and then we will move on to EC members. Okay? So, again, yeah, that's it. Okay. Now we can start with the presentations. You can present for 7 to 8 minutes.
Hello. Hi everyone. My name is Rohan Yadav. I'm a fourth year dual degree in physics, contesting for the first post of International and Alumni Relations Secretary. My vision will be to increase the accessibility and awareness about our alumni community and resources to the institute students. Second, advertise the vibrant student culture fostered over 65 plus years to future students, collaborators, investors. And lastly, to reinforce the image of IIT Madras as a global center for excellence. My manifesto can be divided into 3 sections: alumni and corporate relations, global engagements, and branding and outreach. Starting off with the alumni and corporate relations section, first point is Nexus. Nexus is designed to be the platform for fostering connections between the students and alumni through informal interactions and community building. This will help the students gain valuable insights and guidance from the experienced alumni, while the alumni can stay connected to their alma mater and share their knowledge and experience with the next generation. And this will also help to additionally brand the current platforms which exist for the students to connect to the alumni. Second point is recall. Recall aims at reconnecting the young alumni who are generally 1 to 2 years out to their batchmates and utilizing their experience and knowledge in the professional world to foster a sense of community and career guidance for INSTI students. This will not only help them to reconnect with their batchmates, but also allow them to connect to people who might be relevant to their new career.
No, no, just. Which side you want? This one.
Yeah. So next up.
Was it like this?
No, it was complete. I think to change the aspect ratio. No. All right. So next up is the Alumni Opportunity Portal. This is a platform for alumni-founded companies and alumni in general to post internships and placement opportunities throughout the year. This initiative aims to facilitate year-round opportunities, particularly for the final year students in the even semester, and help these alumni companies to overcome the barrier of slotting systems in placement. Next up is the PG Alumni Summit. PG Alumni Summit is a series of department-specific conferences designed to improve the accessibility for the PG alumni to the IIT Madras ecosystem. We will be inviting PG alumni to department-led conferences, which will feature industry experts, faculty, current lab scholars within their specific domain, and create a platform where they can network and foster new research collaborations. Next up is Industry Connect. Industry Connect is essentially an exposition which will feature industry projects and open problems. And the aim of this exposition will be to foster collaboration between research scholars, faculty, startups, participating industries, and venture capitalists to also have networking and funding opportunities. This would essentially aim to expand the post-graduation opportunities for postgraduate students beyond academia and helping them connect to relevant industries. Finally, in the alumni and corporate relations section, we have to INSTI and Beyond. INSTI and Beyond is an initiative which leverages the invaluable experience and guidance of graduating students to benefit their juniors. This essentially would equip the current INSTI students with the valuable guidance from the final year graduating students by connecting them with volunteer mentors from this batch for personal and professional development. This would help them to build a network and also a support system which will help them to navigate their academic challenges and prepare for placements, etc. Now starting with the global engagement section, first is Global Research Immersion Program. This essentially aims to provide avenues for students to explore post-graduation possibilities abroad through projects and internships with faculties from international universities. This will expose the students to various research fields and experts in many universities, which are often overlooked by the students. Next up is International Faculty Symposium. This would create a platform for the students and faculty to connect with global academicians and expand their research network. We would be essentially organizing an event where we gather alumni and non-alumni academicians from various universities worldwide, and we would foster interaction and knowledge exchange with the institute's faculties and scholars. Next is Beyond Borders. Beyond Borders aims to establish IIT Madras as a leading educational institute beyond India, particularly in developing nations across Asia and Africa, where the institute is trying to expand. The initiative aims to share IIT Madras's expertise and educational excellence with students from these countries, thereby enhancing their lives and solidifying institute's reputation internationally. This will be done essentially by creating avenues and spreading awareness among these students, these as in the international students, and second by creating and catering to the alumni base of these students from these countries. Next up is IITM Solve. IITM Solve leverages the expertise of India's talent to drive sustainable growth in developing countries and thus reinforcing IIT Madras's image as a global change maker. A nationwide competition will be held to apply the research of IIT Madras and devise strategies to modify them and solve practical problems of such developing countries. Next up is Vanakam Zanzibar. This initiative essentially creates a welcoming environment and facilitates social integration of African students while offering Indian students a chance to learn about the diverse African culture of their country. And this will be done through a series of events which will educate the students on campus about their music, music, foods, cinema, etc. Finally, coming to the branding and outreach section, my first initiative here is EduReach. It aims to spread awareness about the initiatives taken by IIT Madras to enhance the educational resources to rural students. This would essentially be adding the schools and colleges in these underprivileged areas to the IIT Madras ecosystem through students who come from these locations. These students will go there and share their knowledge and information on programs like NPTEL, Swayam, online BS degree, and educate them about their options available.
You have 2 more minutes to wrap up.
Sorry?
You have 2 more minutes.
Next up, next up we have Straight Outta Madras. This aims to popularize the vibrant student culture of IIT Madras among the aspirants community by showcasing and inspiring them about our 65 years young lineage. We would be introducing student design merchandise branded by IIT Madras on popular e-commerce platforms and selling them under the label of IIT Madras Gift Shop. Next is Discover Chennai. The vision of this initiative is to promote Chennai's unique and rich culture by creating content that breaks down the city's diverse aspects, including its art, food, cricket culture, work culture, etc. Chennai's vibrant culture is often unknown to many regions of the country and abroad, which may discourage students from both India and abroad to pick IIT Madras as their #1 choice in their academic ventures. By creating accurate and engaging content, the project aims to counter existing stereotypes and attract talented students to the institute. Next up is Insti Tales. This initiative aims to spotlight the vibrant history and culture of IIT Madras to the world. We would be doing this by essentially creating content under 4 umbrellas: stories from alumni with offbeat careers, highlighting high achiever alumni, showcasing the evolution of the campus, both in terms of its history and culture, and vlogging key events in the institute. Finally, I want to reintroduce a platform, Podda, which would be used to reflect the latest trends in Insti and venture into untapped social media channels like X, Reddit, Quora, to engage the thriving aspirants community on these platforms. This will also enable the alumni to stay on top of the latest trends in Insti and buzz in the campus. Yeah, thank you so much. This was all from my side. You can scan the QR code to view my manifesto and feasibility report.
Okay, so the first section of the soapbox. Before that, I want to just say that when EC members and other spearheads in course ask questions, you have 2 minutes to answer their question and 45 seconds to answer their follow-up. Okay? Okay, so the first section of the soapbox will be SECC questioning. I'll ask you something very subjective, first question, and then we can follow with the procedural stuff. Okay, so consider you made a decision as the next IAR secretary, and you are facing significant backlash for it from the GSB. Now, they are citing concerns that you are not transparent enough or you are not accountable enough. My question is, how would you respond to these kind of criticism as someone who is sitting in such a powerful position?
Firstly, I would be making a report of whatever the concern which is raised by the GSB members. If it is a financial concern, a financial report, say for example, with the standing committee, and presenting it to SLC so that whatever concern is being pointed out can be surfaced and clarified.
Fine. Okay, so next question. If you remember, SEC in our briefing event had mentioned about a social media guidelines, that is an addendum to the social media policy in the Model Code of Conduct and Election Manual. Do you remember anything about it?
I remember some things that we cannot use our personal handles to promote our campaign. That was, I think, the key thing that I remember.
Are you sure, Rohan? Social media policy doesn't say that. Like the social media policy which is there in MCC says that, which is there in the election manual, it says that. But the social media policy which is drafted by the institute, do you have any idea what is it? Because 2 days back we sent it over the mail. Today, DR courses and DR students, I think, have sent it over. Any idea?
I can't. If you have any specific question regarding appointment, we can answer. I can't recall the policy.
Okay, sure. So, of course, as per the policy, you can use your social media handle. But can you use IITM, @IITM for your, let's say, post?
@IITM in the Instagram tag? I don't think so.
Yeah, fair enough. You can't actually use, you're supposed to take some permission, and if they want to sue you, they can sue you because you didn't take permission. So that is also the case. Yeah. Meenakshi. Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, can you tell me two main grounds for impeaching a student representative according to the student's constitution? There are three main grounds, but tell me two.
Academic misconduct or financial, what is the opposite of transparency? Financial.
Right answer. Not just academic misconduct, any kind of misconduct by any competent disciplinary committee, which is, you know the disciplinary committees, right?
Yeah.
What are the three disciplinary committees? Four.
The DISCO committee, CCASH committee, is that what you're...
Yeah. What are the four disciplinary committees?
DISCO, CCASH, hostel and academic.
Can you name them properly? DISCO, there is no committee like DISCO.
DISCO means disciplinary committee. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a full form to it. Okay. So one is called IDCS, Institute Disciplinary Committee for Students, HDC, Hostel Disciplinary Committee, DWC, Disciplinary Welfare Committee, CCASH. Then you can look for the full form.
Yeah. So for answering the question about the grounds for impeachment, we have one, any kind of misconduct by any competent disciplinary authority, and financial misappropriation like you mentioned, and as well as non-performance of duties. Okay. Okay. Now, next question is, other than the Executive Council, SECC, SEC and Student Legislative Council, can you name two more constitutional bodies?
The judiciary and T5E.
Can you tell me what you mean by judiciary?
Judiciary comprises of the faculty advisor, chief commissioner and commissioner in judiciary.
Okay, so are you referring to Students Ethics and Constitution Commission?
It says that SEC is also a part which plays a crucial role in this.
Okay, so I think what you meant to say was Students Ethics and Constitution
but in the
Commission.
constitution it says judiciary, so.
Yeah, that might be. That is a different name, but judiciary meaning it is Students Ethics and Constitution Commission. We are a quasi-judicial body, and no, those is not part of our organization. We do consider him as one of our advisors, but not part of our organization. And then, yes, you mentioned T5E. Any other body that you can recall?
They are the four wings.
Can you tell me any body that deals with financial conduct?
FAC, financial conduct.
Yes. So we have T5E and FAC as two constitutional bodies. Yeah, I think we can move on to the... Okay. So we'll move on to the current Executive Council members questioning.
So Meenakshi, I'll ask few questions and then I'll pass it on to Aditya in the next question.
Okay, fine. So you're planning to ask the questions?
Yeah, simultaneous. I want to ask, yeah.
And then he can answer later.
No, I'll ask set of questions, he'll answer those, and then we'll go back to core and then come back to me.
Fine.
Yeah, okay. Hi Rohan, we'll start with very basic questions first. What are the three boards that you are involved in as an IR secretary?
Board of Students, Board of ACR, Board of G.
Right, correct. And what are the different admin bodies that you will interact with if you become IR secretary?
ACR Office, IIT MA, Office of Global Engagement.
Are
And
you
also
su-
Institute Media Side.
Are you sure you're not missing on something? You'll be interacting with dean students as well, since the Dost office is one of the major offices that will be interacting throughout your year. There are other stakeholders as well, including Heritage Center. Since you have Heritage Club formalized under, you'll have to interact with them. Yeah, so we'll move on to IR Council. Can you quickly list the roles and responsibilities of an IR secretary?
The biggest responsibility is to brand IIT Madras to all of its stakeholders associated, including but not limited to alumni, international entities that we're associated with, and rest of the world, essentially.
Right, and are you missing on something?
Act as a bridge between the student and the alumni community, bring in international opportunities for the students.
Right, you have covered most of the thing, but there's a cultural aspect to the GE office that you've missed out, and the
Yeah.
corporate aspect to the ACR council that we have in. Right, so what do you think is the vision of IR Student Council, not the IR sphere? What do you think is the mission of IR Student Council, and how do you plan to take it forward?
So the IIT Student Council is there to support the visions of the secretary in mainly three things: catering to the alumni, establishing the channel between the students and the alumni, so that the student community can benefit from this alumni community. Second, brand the student community to students who are prospective to come to IIT Madras, including international students. And third is to bring opportunities from all over the world in terms of research and other corporation.
Next up, quickly, we have formalized IRSC into three separate councils. So go one by one and list down what all the major activities that each council have done throughout the year.
Okay, I'll just start with one activity and then maybe I can take it over. So GE Council's main initiative this year was International Day. It always is the International Day. ACR Council takes up Willkommen, Reunion, and
I'm asking about the thing that we have done this year. Probably you can use the timeline as well, just for the sake of simplicity. From the start of the tenure till now, whatever we have done.
Okay, so I think GE Council's biggest event this year was international. It was called Bon Voyage, but it is essentially an International Day, and the global university fair that we had. And in the ACR Council, Willkommen, Reunion, faculty, Freshie Alumni Meetup. I think these are the Parents Day and Alumni are the major events. Branding Council took up Savera. They published the first edition of Campus Times.
It's not published yet.
It's not published yet, but it's almost ready. It's just to be printed. I think, yeah, this is it.
So you have completely missed out what IITM TV has done, what Heritage Club has done.
I mean, it was IITM TV does this as a part of their year-long initiative. You ask for particular events.
No, I just asked you whatever the councils have done. Just brief me so that we understand that you have the understanding of the whole sphere.
Okay. As you pointed out, like IITM TV creates videos which capture the student culture here at IIT Madras, and I think the most notable one has been the recent Valentine's Day video. They've also posted some things on mental health this time. Heritage Club has organized the Heritage Tour, and I think this is...
Fine. You have covered some of the events. You have missed out on few. I have one last question before I pass it on to the core team. I look at your manifesto and there are some points which are some sort of modifications of the manifesto points which I had put or even the previous secretaries have put, and we were not able to pull it off for some reason. And this year as an IIT student council, we have tried out on a lot of things, and a lot of things have been executed and some of things failed at the later point. So why do you think you need this much many points rather than fixing what all was done?
I think most of the points are, in a sense, fixing whatever we could not pull off. It's just like a reiteration of whatever you're saying. If you have any specific point that you want to point out, maybe I can answer the question in a better
It will go to each of your point later, but just to point out, you have mentioned straight out of Madras. No, not that one. Discover Chennai. It is complete.
Yeah, yeah.
It is exactly like Namma Madras. Do you know why Namma Madras failed?
Yeah, because there was a collaboration with TN Tourism Office and there was a lot of paper pushing involved and hence we could not pull it off.
Right, so it's just the same thing and you have given it a new name. You could have put on it as a follow-up point and you could have mentioned that we'll be doing these things different.
The difference between that and this point is you are also more focused on tourism around Chennai and attracting more tourists to Chennai. My focus, is it regarding the Discover Chennai program, is just to attract students and create content which is relevant to these students so that they are incentivized to come to Chennai in general and basically break some sort of stereotypes that
was
are
the goal of Namma Madras. It was to brand Chennai as a place, as a perfect place to stay for students for 4 years. So it included everything, be it art, be it culture, be it the opportunities they have.
Yeah.
So it was exactly the same thing.
I agree. The point was inspired from Namma Madras. That's true.
Fine. I'll pass it on to the core team.
Hi Rohan. So you have 16 points in your manifesto and none of it is, not even a single point is related to sport or development of sport. I know it's not your domain, but
Yeah, can you ask the question?
yeah. So there was this event called Encore. I thought it was a very good success where cricket alumni came from all over the world and played games, and also the current IIT Ma's vice president was also part of it, and he wanted this to expand to all sports. So do you have any plans regarding it?
Yeah, I think we discussed this when I was taking fundraise from you. I plan to create like a network of all of the alumni, not just in terms of sports, but also other spheres like the Sarang has a really good alumni culture. Has a really good alumni culture. Basically, to make some sort of a channel. Not sure if it's a WhatsApp group or a LinkedIn group, whatever, but to connect them to the current students and all of its alumni. Yeah. Which is essentially expanding Encore to rest of the agency.
Yeah, so follow up to this. So I don't think just connecting people would, make this possible. So do you have any action plan which you can think of?
The 2 points, the recall and the 2 Insta and beyond, I think these two would serve the purpose. Since they would be here on campus, we can let the teams decide what kind of events they plan to organize.
Okay. So I think you should discuss this with the incoming ISS and, look into this, because a lot of alumni contact us to, they want to come back to campus and play. And also it is a possibility where, the sports teams can get some good funding, which would help us. So please think about this.
Sure.
And next is about hostel sports facilities. So generally the problem in hostel sports facilities is budget issues. So the budget is just enough to maintain the facilities. But if you want to, install any new thing which is good enough, so there's a budget constraint. So getting alumni funding is very possible. Do you have anything in mind so that you can structurize this process and make sure all hostels have good facilities?
So the thing with this is you can list it on the Joy of Giving portal or Keep It Flowing portal in case you have any specific endowments in mind. So the structure is in place. Can you?
Yeah, exactly. So the structure is in place, but not many people, including the current hostel secretaries, are aware. So what's your plan to, make people aware? Yeah, spread awareness and also implement it, because if people are awareness not only would make sure that people implement it. So do you have any plan?
I mean, spreading awareness, I think all of the aspiring hostel secretaries, I mean, which is again limited number, I've spoken to, I have informed them about this mechanism. But yeah, I think we can organize a separate session if that is required for all of the hostel secretaries, telling them about the different avenues in which they can raise funds.
Okay, so I think just comment. So not only spreading would work, and I think IAR can, like improve the facilities of all hostels, not only sports. So you can maybe create a hostel revamp committee or something like that in collaboration with other spheres as well, and like look into this. I think if we are able to like revamp all our hostels, our quality of living also will increase.
Agreed. The only caveat with this is we used to have a hostel alumni relations secretary equivalent, and since that position was removed, the dean has been very reluctant to install another similar entity in the hostel. So that is why we cannot have students as a part of the revamp committee. But if the alumni are interested in being a part of the hostel committee, I think sure that is absolutely done. That's just the alumni's decision. There is nothing that we can connect the alumni, but
Rohan, there's a clarification regarding this. What Aditya mentioned, that you involve the stakeholders from the hostel, so you know what the need of a hostel is. But and what Dean is reluctant about is to not let everyone have multiple channels of contact through alumni.
Exactly,
So the hostel revamp committee which has been suggested, which is different from what you are proposing.
okay.
Okay. Third is Vanakkam Zanzibar. So technically, Zanzibar people from Zanzibar can come and participate in inter-IIT.
Yeah.
So will you do anything to help identifying talent and bringing them here so that they can train and also represent IIT Madras in inter-IIT?
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a prospect. And again, I would first want to start by making them feel home. That is why I've just focused on the cultural aspects for now, so that we establish a community. And then once that is formed, I think the part of sports and everything that you're saying will be easily executed.
Okay, and them coming here and attending classes and training with our teams for a semester, say the odd semester.
Oh, so you mean like an exchange program for sports?
Yeah.
I spoke to some of the office people. They said that right now the number is very small in that campus, as it's still under development. It is a future prospect, but I don't think it is very feasible right now.
Okay. Okay, then no Zanzibar athletes for inter-IIT.
I mean, the students here can be incorporated into the teams. That is already.
Yeah, that's already being done. And, anyways, moving on, final question. This is regarding IITM TV. So I personally think that IITM TV is probably, in terms of media, the most skilled one in IIT Madras. And we do have a lot of opportunity to capture content in terms of for sports, and we also do have a media team and also a content team. But the main issue is we practice about 2 to 3 hours a day, and we don't have time to really invest into other PORs. So would it be possible for IITM TV to take a lead on capturing sports content also, and if so, how do you plan to do it?
Absolutely. So not just sports content, but also, like I mentioned in the initial point, that I want to capture all of the major events that happened around Insti, so that it can be showcased to the outside world, and it basically brands the student community, right? So yes, and it can be used primarily as a training mechanism to train the new batch of content creators and assistant content creators who are here.
Rohan, I think before commenting on this, you need to check with IITM TV first, because sports inter-IIT and culturals inter-IIT are somewhat close, and IITM TV work on the 15-minute short film, so they'll not have the bandwidth. So it's better if not just IITM TV, if you are committing anything regarding any team, just go and ensure that that team have the bandwidth and manpower to execute it.
I tried my level best to do that, and his question was also, I think, more around the other events like Sports Fest Agarata that happened around campus.
Yeah, Sports Fest Agartha also, and also if we get permission for someone from IITM TV to travel with the contingent, because inter-IIT there is a lot of possibilities to and this time also I feel like the media teams are and we'll be hosting inter-IIT in 2025, so you can keep that in mind. And yeah, so I am done. Thank you. All the best.
Hey Rohan. Okay, so the first question, I want you to differentiate these three events, Nexus, Recall 2.0, and To Insti and Beyond, on the basis of the people that you are catering, the alumni, the age group. The second thing is the kind of event. And the third thing is budget, because whenever you are calling an alumni, then their accommodation, their flight travels and all.
Okay. Please correct if I missed out anything.
Yeah.
So first is the age group, right? Age group of the alumni.
Yeah.
So Nexus will be catering to the alumni who have graduated approximately 7 to 10 years ago. Since they'll be at senior managerial positions, the aim of this event is to create connections of institute students with these kind of people, so that the perception, actually the biggest reward that we can get from an alumni network is also placement opportunities, internship opportunities, basically all professional development opportunities, right? So to capture that, Recall 2.0 aims to call alumni who have graduated 1 to 2 years ago, and it is also to reconnect them to their batchmates who might be now relevant to them in terms of their professional careers that they have been taking up. The last point, is essentially catering to the graduating batch, the batch still is instant, who will be who will be graduating.
Okay.
If this the other parts of the question, if you can repeat
Yeah,
that.
second part was in the Recall 2.0, in manifesto you have mentioned the Fostering Career Guidance channel.
Yeah.
And for the Insti and Beyond also, it is like aiding pre-final year in professional personal life. So I just want to know what's the difference between, because both are like a guidance channel for the person.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing with the to do called alumni is that they are they usually tend to be more busier than the most recently graduated alumni, and these recently graduated alumni can be 5:1 sort of a mentor model Sati uses to the students who are sitting in placements or in internships, right? So that is the plan with both of those things.
And
I mean, we will be connecting the alumni anyways, but like the model is very different.
yeah, and what about the budget? Like whenever you're calling, you have to give them accommodation and flight travel.
Okay. Got you. So for Recall 2.0, if you remember, we had some 22 odd alumni whose accommodation was arranged by the ACR office, I think in the middle of August or September last year. It was called Ready to Inspire, right? So I spoke to the office about this, and they said that we want to also bridge the gap between the 5-year reunion that happens ultimately for the first time and the graduating batch. So they want to have like a reunion in the middle also. So they'll be taking up this expense.
Okay. And one recent major problem was there was some budget issue that you already know regarding the execution of Willkommen and Parents Day.
Yeah.
And one thing that you have added is I think in Recall 2.0 Insti Beyond, you are also doing a networking lunch in OET. So when there is a budget constraint of doing a Willkommen and Parents Day, so how the budget of this has been approved?
Okay. So first of all, the Recall 2.0 is also backed up by the ACR office, as they want to have another reunion for this segment, right? So that is clear. They will be funding all of the, at least the gala nights budget. It will be funded by the ACR office.
Just a clarification. So this is coming under reunion, right? Reunion
Yes.
budget.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
And it will be separate from this. And the second, which was the other
Second
event-
question, like there is a lot of confusion whether this year will have Willkommen or not. So if you can clarify.
So I have reached out to all of the channels possible, Dean Mahesh, the IR faculty advisor, all of the office folks, and they are positive about this. I am yet to hear a confirmation from the Dean. IR faculty advisor is on board, just the Dean's approval is pending.
Yeah, I think someone else can ask questions.
one-
No, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Hi, Rohan. So I have a couple of questions regarding this one point of yours, beyond borders. Can I ask them all at once, or should I go one
One
by
by one, please.
One by one, okay. It's about the feasibility of the event, basically. So you're suggesting that we give tours to Zanzibar students of IIT Madras, right?
Sorry, what? We?
Beyond border, you're conducting tours for the Zanzibar students, right?
Okay.
Huh? So where will the budget for such an event come from, and how many students are you taking for a tour? And do you have a plan regarding this? Basically, how will you execute this? When you're saying a tour for Zanzibar students to IIT Madras.
Okay, so clarifying that, this is actually being done by the marketing team at GE office. They already take this up. When I spoke to them, they said that yes, if you submit a detailed proposal and whatever you want to do in detail, we can allocate the work for that. So that is the plan. And also I spoke to the director, so Office of Eminence, Institute of Eminence office will also be providing funds for this.
So the number, do you have a number in mind?
Yes, so for starting out, I plan to, if we can support 10 students in terms of those scholarships that I mentioned, and this, I think that is a good start.
Second point about the same thing. You suggest to involve alumni for the outreach. Alumni, I suppose, are alumni from Zanzibar.
Correct.
Okay. Why do you think they'll be interested in something like this? First of all, their interest is important. And for this, you have mentioned feasibility only from Dean G and Director, as far as I remember. Did you take feasibility from the ACR office, or did you talk to any prospective alumni for this?
I spoke to AFSA heads about this. They were positive about it. I mean, why they would be incentivized is that, see, if IIT Madras actually helped them to reach new heights in their career, or if they helped in their professional developments, I think they would be very happy to share whatever their experience has been with their juniors or the prospective students. So that is why they will be incentivized. And I spoke to the alumni, future alumni rather of this group. I didn't speak to ACR office about this because I don't think they would be interested in this, as you know, this is more of GE office's purview and interest.
But they are still alumni, right? Zanzibar students are still alumni.
They're still alumni, but I don't think ACR office right now has any plans to cater to this alumni base.
Okay. The last one. You also mentioned a collaboration with Indian companies for providing scholarship for these students, for the Zanzibar students, I see. Do you have any such company in mind, or where do you get the feasibility of such thing? First of all, Indian companies, what does that mean? Do you have any example company, and do you have a feasibility for this?
Yes. Feasibility, I don't think it directly implies, but what I did was I spoke to some of the labs in INSTI and some companies like L&T who plan to expand their business, since we are already building a campus in Zanzibar. They also plan to take their business there, and in collaboration with, since they are a partner industry of IIT Madras, they want to have a business there. So they would be the ones who would be interested in like hiring the folks from there, and providing these scholarships that I mentioned. So basically, if they want to establish office there, they would need a workforce from them there.
Yeah, but is this all hypothesis, or have you talked to a company representative is my question?
No, I haven't talked to company representatives.
Okay.
I spoke to the office, but not company representatives.
Okay, so hi Rohan, I have a question regarding operational aspect of GE. This time, the budget was passed very late, or it has still not been passed. So what do you plan to change in that structure so that there is a clear communication between GE office and the student team?
Okay. So the feedback that I got from the GE office was that they say that we have been very late in communicating the budget, etc. They said that if you approach us 1 month in advance, I think that will be done.
One additional point to this, just same question. As you know, Savera's budget was, what was that, 18 lakhs something, right?
18 lakhs.
And it got passed in about as many days. So if that is a possibility.
And the one was there that he was talking about, its budget was less than 40,000, I think, this time.
Yeah, I'm aware.
35.
And I think one of the ways in which we can solve this problem is by expanding the scope of the event. and collaborating with the Cultural Affairs Secretary. I spoke to Sriraj about this. He was positive about it. I spoke to some of the communities about this. They were also positive about this. So maybe this can be a possibility, and we get more budget for these events next time.
Also, regarding this International Day and all, this time only CEMEX students were incorporated. We were not given data of Zanzibar students and others. So what do you think? I mean,
Agreed. And to incorporate them, I have actually added a separate manifesto point called Vanakam Zanzibar.
and also faculty mixer. You have proposed some kind of international symposium. How is it different from last year's faculty mixer that was?
That catered to the faculties who were here on campus. I plan on inviting faculties who are start the alumni academy. I mentioned this specifically in the manifesto. I want to invite them to campus so that they can connect with our institute faculty and form research collaborations.
Hello, Rohan. So so I'll be mostly covering the branding and outreach part. So there are quite good points which you have mentioned.
Thank you.
So one specific point which is Institales, right? You have mentioned ITM TV and Chennai 36 will be collaborating with this. And then you might be knowing that ITM TV has this Kahanikar as an event, and when Institales is, which mostly is synonymous to Kahanikar as well, because we also are talking about Kahanis of Institute, right?
Okay.
So last year when I was actually trying to execute this specific event by ITM TV, we faced a lot of issues regarding budget constraints, and then quite a lot of resistance, right? So is there any possibility of having something like expanded budget in this?
Absolutely.
This
If you check the Joy of Giving portal, they have created a separate channel where they're sourcing money to create content on campus. I spoke to ACR office. I spoke to Padma ma'am about this. She says that she can allocate a part of this money, the fund that is raised and their budget for creating videos and improving our quality of production.
Okay, and in this point you are mentioning something like vlogging. So can you just brief on what exactly do you mean by that? Like, and is ITM TV involved in such kind of content creation?
Yes, absolutely. And I also to take some of the growth work out of the equation, I also plan to collaborate with some vloggers around Chennai who are famous. And by vlogging, I mean if you search on YouTube about different fests of IIT, say for example Mood Indigo, you will find several videos which in vlog format, and they have great option from friends, like views are very high. So what inspired to.
And what are the media channels you are targeting through for this?
Sorry?
What are the media channels you are targeting?
Media channels?
Media channels, as in, are you targeting YouTube channel of ITM TV or any other? Right?
The plan is to post it on ITM TV.
But then the content which you are mentioning, which is vlogs, like you might be knowing ITM TV is not some, we don't have expertise in that area, or maybe we don't do it, right?
And that is why I propose that we can also collaborate with vloggers outside, or even ask Core Voice for that matter to help us in this job.
Okay, great. Then there's a mention of Podda, reintroducing Podda. So as a with Podda, I understand like it's a podcast, right? Again.
It's not a podcast.
So if you go on Facebook channel of Podda, you will be able to see it's a podcast channel of ITM TV, right? IIT Madras, right? So then reintroducing it, like what is the content type which you are expecting from this?
Right. So I mentioned in the manifesto and feasibility report both that it's not a podcast format. It is written, but what they shifted to was a short one-liner content, quote type of content which they created.
Yeah, just a minute. Can you please clarify more on your idea with Podda? Like, what do you want to do? What will be the channel where you'll be posting, and what is the whole concept behind this?
Okay, so the concept behind that is there are many channels, like I mentioned, like Quora, Reddit, where this aspirant community are very active, and if we can somehow engage them, it will be very beneficial for the overall branding of the institute. That is the motivation behind them, and they would be producing that kind of content only, like the short format content which is usually very viral along with the.
Listen, there will be no new Instagram page.
There will be no new Instagram. There is an existing Instagram page.
No, you are not creating a separate page for Podda. That's what I wanted to know.
No.
Fine,
There is
because
an
we already have multiple pages and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
traction is getting down. So just
Agreed,
wanted to
agreed.
ensure that.
Agreed.
Just a note, we have 15 minutes more, so please plan your question accordingly.
Just a last one, right? So Aditya pointed out that IITM TV is kind of the best team which provides the content, right? And then you mentioned there will be lots of collaboration with IITM TV, and like there will be contents which will be expected in your tenure. So, but you as heads, we will be, so this is specific to understand that we are quite short in number of people who are actively participating in from the team, right? So if you're coming up with some initiatives like this, is there any plan of expanding the team or maybe expansion of budget in like if that is the case?
Understood. In terms of expanding the budget to improve the production quality, given that the team is enthused about making that content, we're establishing that. Yes, we have the plans. We'll be collaborating with the SR office and we'll be taking a part of their budget, which is under the umbrella of Ask IITM, right? This feasibility is taken from Padma ma'am. Next up, I don't want Podda to be a part of IITM TV. They can contribute to this certainly, but I would more kind of be inclined towards collaborating with Chennai 36, basically initially establishing this as a vertical under them, and then maybe we can have a separate team if needed.
Rohan, you were talking about Podda, right? Do you take its feasibility from Manish Bhai, who has the page credentials right now?
I tried to reach out to him, but I could not get a response.
But then how can you continue with the same page? Because you said right now that you are going to continue with the same page.
So the plan is, I mean, if we first need to establish communication to him, yeah.
Okay, I think then you need to rework on this point. Regarding IITM Solve, right? From how many people have you taken feasibility from, and do you have the School of Sustainability on board? And apart from it, from whatever I know, I don't think you have the feasibility check of COCAS as well. So can you clarify on that?
I did speak to COCAS this evening and also Shastra Event Score, so they are on board. First. Second is regarding the feasibility, I spoke to Ashwin Malingam sir, who's one of the professors in the School of Sustainability. The director was on board with this. In that meeting, there was also DNG who was on board with this. Again, the School of Sustainability is not completely on board with this. I have they said that I need to prepare a proper proposal and draft a budget or whatever that I would be needing for this event, and then they would be approving it.
Do you know which building has the School of Sustainability? Right now, no building has School of Sustainability. It's a hybrid concept, right, as of now. Last question. So, in this tenure, the relationship of IR Student Council with the office has been hampered a lot. And that is due to the some of the activities of some people of IR Council. How are you going to improve your relationship with the ACR office?
Okay. So their biggest concern was that student participation in any of their events was not great. And their specific direction was LLS. So I have given multiple suggestions as to how they can improve the format of LLS and have better engagement of the students. That is one. Second is I got their events calendar a priori, so that whatever participation of the students they are expecting in their event, at least the council can ensure and plan ahead of time. So these are the two steps that I plan to take so that our relations with the office improve.
Asha, Rohan, I have next question. It's regarding the functioning of the whole IR sphere. Basically, if you see, we have girls and boys in our team. So to perform like inclusively and then perform together, we need a co-ed workspace.
Yeah.
And if you have seen this year, we are a bit of lagging. We have on and off workspace. So what are you going to do with that? Regarding this, one more thing, IIT MA was given to culturals. Do you have any specific building or any workspace which we can acquire 24/7?
Yeah. You pointed this out to me earlier as well, and after that, I spoke to Dr. Ashwin Malingam. We are going to discuss this on Wednesday. Whatever issues are there with GDC, if they are getting resolved, or if he's planning to give us another workspace to work with. I'll get back to you on this after I speak to Ashwin Malingam, sir.
Yeah, Rohan. So again, so there is a point Edu reached, and it mentioned something of spreading awareness. So what exactly are you conveying by that? Like, can you just brief
Okay,
about?
so there are several channels installed by ITM, including NPTEL, SWAYAM, BS degree, which plans to expand the scope of education from IIT Madras outside its campus. So I want to create awareness among these colleges in tier 2, 3 cities who can benefit from these channels. That is what I...
Great.
I hope I was clear.
And you are mentioning something of like there will be learning resources provided and then AI tools will be utilized. So like, do you have some kind of team in mind who will be looking after this thing?
After this, we'll have one last question. You can answer.
I planned for IBC to take this initiative up. There are several channels, including RooTag, which does this, including Core Voice under the umbrella of Ask IITM who do this. So we'll be also utilizing their channels. I haven't spoken to them in particular, but I have reached out to them. I'm waiting for their reply.
I have two questions, Meenakshi. For the PG Alumni Summit, in your feasibility, you haven't mentioned that you have talked to any PG alumni. So, and you have mentioned that the reason for PG reunions to fail was low turnout for PG. Do you know why it failed?
I mean, what I got to know from the office was the low turnout.
No, but why was there a low turnout?
My reasoning was that they were not able to relate to the whole reunion setting, as they spent a very different kind of time in institute.
That is one of the minor reason, but if you go and talk to some PG alumni, the major reason is their calendar is different, their work setting is different.
Absolutely.
So I think you have to take that into account as well while you plan something for the PG alumni. And just quickly explain what is your idea behind this PG Alumni Summit and like how is it going to look on ground?
Okay, so the plan is we would be conducting department-wise events to start with, where there will be industry experts, where there will be investors, where there will be other academicians related to their field, and we'll be hosting a conference come networking session where they can...
How many of them will be there in a semester?
It would depend on the departments. Actually, this is already being done by Dean ICSR. My initiative is an expansion to this.
I mean, we are not able to pull enough crowd to LLS. Are you sure we'll be able to bring students over here?
The research students are very active in all of their department level events.
I mean, it's fine. I think you need to think on it again because we had many PG specific talks and still we didn't had enough.
I mentioned in central, in an institute level event, it might be the case, but if you check at a department level, the turnout for every conference...
Fine, I mean, you have to check it each department. BT department had a seminar yesterday and only 7 students were there. And it was by an BT alumni. So I think you need to go through it properly. One last question before we wrap it. It's about the industry connect point that you have mentioned. So I think how is it different from the industry there that was planned or before that industry conclave? So what different are you planning to do? And like, have you checked with CRC, where were they, like what was the point because of them which they failed to organize industry day this year?
I mean, what I got to know from the CRC heads was it was planned to go along with NetWest, and they could not, plan their calendar accordingly, and that is why it failed. They were... They failed basically in getting companies, etc. on board. The venture capitalists were on board, but they could not align with the office's calendar. And it is different from the industry conclave that happened in Sarthak's tenure. As you know, he wanted to engage the industries which are trying to enter the IIT Madras ecosystem. That is one. And your initiative, it just it planned to display CSR fund. That was my interpretation of it. And what I want to do is I want to create a channel where these industry experts would engage with students, like scholars and faculties to discuss their open problems and have a collaboration.
I mean, that was the vision of Industry Day as well. But just a closing remark. I mean, we as an IIR school student council still is in our nascent stage. So instead of planning new initiatives each year, I mean, you can focus on bettering things. So I think, yeah, that's the closing remark.
I mentioned that this is in line with the CSR Expo that happens.
Fine, yeah.
Okay. So that marks the end of our Soapbox. Thank you, Executive Council members and sphere heads and cores. Thank you, Rohan. All the best for your campaigning and elections. So, yeah.